You're listening to the Substation Gaming Podcast. I'm Lucas, with May I Have Black Chestnut.
Hello.
And Ricola.
Hi.
And today we got some possible Gen 9 confirmation talk. And
It's not possible. It's there.
It's there. And then the hot
Yeah,
topic of this
possible.
week, Elden Ring. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it's gonna happen, people. It's gonna
I haven't
happen.
played it.
Yeah, Black Chestnut's technically the only one that's played it so far, but I am so hyped, so I'm just spoiling it by watching somebody else play it.
Fair.
Which
But,
I shouldn't be doing, but it's fine.
I think we should get Pokemon out of the way first, so that we can just ramble about Elden Ring.
I thought we were going to do Elden Ring first.
What? Oh, I thought we agreed on Pokemon. Oh, whatever. Flip a coin.
Let's do Elden Ring.
Okay, sure.
Elden Ring's hype.
Sure.
This is like the worst intro.
Yes.
Who cares?
Anyways,
Have
Black
fun.
Chestnut, what are your first thoughts? You're the one that's played it so far. What are your first
okay.
thoughts?
Well, let me just get the groundwork for my first impressions underway.
Yes.
Basically, I've played 23 hours so far. So I've almost played a whole day.
Impressive.
And so far, for the most part, I've only really done like everything in Limgrave, more or less. I did just find new stuff in Limgrave like an hour before going live right now. But I have ventured into like the next area, the lake area.
So is it like split up into... Is like Limgrave just like a sort of big like open area, and then there's like connections to other big open areas, kind of?
It's open world, but there's each like massive open section is like split up into chunks.
Okay.
Like you start the game off in like Eastern Limgrave. No, you start in West Limgrave, and then you can venture off into East Limgrave or South Limgrave. If you go north, you go into the lake area. If you head even further east, you'll go into the rot, like desert area.
Ooh, there's a desert. Cool.
Yeah. And I know past the lake is like a volcano / autumn sort of area.
Ooh.
And then even further than that is like the snowy mountain area.
Of course.
Which,
Gotta be.
even though I've only watched videos, it's aesthetically pleasing.
I'm getting that background noise from you, Lucas.
Okay.
So I'm not sure what's causing that, but yeah, just so you're aware.
How many poison swamps have you ran into?
I've ran into like one small one,
Okay.
at least 2 small ones, and then I also I've stepped foot in the poison rot area, which is one giant super poison swamp, more or less.
Fun. So it's like Blight Town Mega Edition. That sounds wonderful. What else? I'm trying to think of what other questions I have about like just open world like structure.
Yeah, well, the thing is, to discuss a little further on it, because how I first stepped foot in there, I went down into like a cellar from some random ruins that I found, and I opened up a treasure chest in that cellar, and it was a booby trap treasure chest that had teleportation gas.
Okay.
Teleported me halfway across the map into
Goofy.
some random cave full of tough enemies. I ran out of the cave, and I just got bombarded by Bloodborne land, more or less. The sky was like crimson red, and it was just disgusting, like rotted land mass.
That sounds great.
It was very cool.
So you just open up a chest, some gas hits you, and you wake up and freaking Bloodborne.
Yeah, more or less.
That's beautiful. That's even better than that enemy in Bloodborne. I would just hit you with a sack and you wake up in another area.
Yeah, that's literally the first thing I thought of, because that happened to me in Bloodborne. You know, I was playing Bloodborne, the enemy hit me with the sack, and I got teleported to a different place.
It's very
And so I opened that chest and I saw I got teleported to like Bloodborne land, and I was just like, fuck, I just got Bloodborne.
Just got bamboozled.
Yeah.
Just got Bloodborne.
Yeah. And I did a little bit of exploring there, not too much. Although the second I like touched Grace, in that area, yeah, I'm getting a lot of background noise from you, Lucas.
I'll just imagine it then.
Yeah.
Or cover your mic with like your hand.
That won't help.
Okay.
No, it's just like usually Discord will like cut out the thing, but then it will still get picked up on the recording.
That's odd.
No, it's not odd because he's recording it natively while he's recording us over Discord. So he only hears what Discord sends out. You know, if I was recording it, I would only hear it when, you know.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah. But like there, I found a really, really OP spirit summon, called like the Rotten Dog or whatever. It's like Rotten Stray Dog.
Okay.
It's really cheap and super OP. Like,
yeah, I was curious about how OP the summons could potentially be.
Yeah. Well, the reason why it's OP, it's really, really good against bosses. And the reason for that is because it inflicts rot on enemies, which is like the best poison in the game. Because there's 3 different poison types, right? There's regular poison, and then there's strong poison, and then there's scarlet rot.
Okay. Confusing.
Yeah, which is like the strongest one. It's like super toxic.
Wonderful, because we needed more poisons in a Souls game.
So a lot of the bosses I was able to just cheese very easily by just summoning the dog and then having him inflict rot on them, and then just sitting back and wait as their health rapidly diminishes from the rot.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, I was curious about how the summons could potentially break gameplay.
Yeah, I was able to beat the Tree Sentinel on my second attempt using him, and then I was able to beat Margaret on my first attempt as well using him.
You know, the summons in Dark Souls have always kind of been like a organic like difficulty selection. I wonder if that's the point of these summons as well.
No, they definitely feel just more like a useful tool in your arsenal that's situational.
Okay.
Like,
yeah, I guess not every boss is gonna be a pushover towards with summons.
It's also dependent on like which summon you want to use on which boss. Like the rot dog isn't always OP. If you're fighting an enemy that's immune to rot, it's not going to do anything, you know?
Yeah. Now, most importantly, how is jumping?
It's really good. It's very nice how to have a jump button.
My brain still can't wrap my head around it.
Yeah. It's really awesome for the level design as well, because they'll design dungeons and stuff to make use of the jumping. And it's like, you got a platform here.
I'm worried open world game and jumping, I'm going to find a way to break it. I'm going to like try and jump over a mountain. It's going to be messy. Hope they program that mountain collision code well, or I'm going to be clipping through the floor.
Yeah.
And then, have you done any of the big dungeons yet? Aren't they called like legacy dungeons or something?
Yeah, I've done Stormvale Castle. I don't know if I've gotten every item in there, but I've done at least like 80 to 90% of it.
That's the one we saw in pre-release thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I did that one so far. That's the only legacy dungeon I've done. I have beaten the boss of it. I beat him on my first try. I didn't even use a summon for him either. I just kind of beat his butt.
How are the mini dungeons?
They're really good. They start off pretty small, and then they get bigger as the game progresses.
I was worried conceptually they could like end up like running together. Like, do you think like visually they keep them like interesting enough? That was my worry of like the idea of it.
I mean, visually, there's just a handful of types. Where it's just like, these are caves, these ones are catacombs, and these ones are like forts.
Okay.
More or less, you know, where it's like, because not all of them are underground, some of them are above ground. Like there's the fortress mini dungeons, where it's just like a sport you have to conquer more or less.
That's a step up from like Skyrim's mini dungeons or like Breath of the Wild shrines, where it's like almost everyone is like visually like the same thing.
Yeah.
So I can appreciate that.
This is much better in terms of like content diversity than Breath of the Wild is. You know, because it's like at the end of all these mini dungeons is a at least somewhat unique boss fight. They're usually unique. Sometimes they're less like, here's a reskinned regular enemy.
Yeah, at least he's reskinned.
Yeah. But or it's like, here's that same boss again, but now he has a group of monsters with him. But like it's still better than Breath of the Wild, which is like, we have 3 bosses.
We got Robo Crab, Centaur thing, and something else. I haven't played Breath of the Wild in a while.
There's like the Cyclops, the skeleton Cyclops.
Okay.
And I guess you can count the Lionels and Guardians if you want.
Yeah, they're bosses, kinda.
But yeah, this has much better enemy variety than Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, speaking of crabs, the crabs are back. I saw them. They're back.
Yes, they're all over the place. Giant enemy crabs. And now there's also giant enemy lobsters as well.
Oh man, I'm excited.
Yeah. I killed one of the lobsters and then it turned into like a spider dude.
What?
Yeah.
I can't wait to see the lore videos on why there's lobsters just walking around.
Yeah. I mean, like, I was in like the perimeter of the second area, the lake area, climbing along the perimeter, and then I get jumped by like a bunch of flea men from Castlevania.
Oh no.
They were flea men with like silly hats, and they were like trying to jump on me and stuff.
They sound annoying to fight in 3D.
Yeah. I killed them and stuff, and then I go a little bit further, and then I find like an encampment of like flame cultists.
Okay.
That just had like fire trees, and you were using fire incantations on me. I killed those guys too.
Awesome. But what else are you gonna do?
Yeah. I mean, I say I've been finding a lot of the content like easy, but that's kind of just because I kind of put off doing the main dungeon for a good amount of time. Like I just spent a ton of time exploring the environment because I was like, okay, all the side mini dungeons in Limgrave are going to be easier than Stormvale Castle. So I should do those first and then do Stormvale. But by the time I got to Stormvale, I was so over-leveled because I wasn't really dying to anything, so I wasn't losing a lot of souls. So I was just like leveling up and buying tons of good gear and stuff.
I think the open world nature would probably just generally make it easier because there's just so many ways to approach things compared to.
That's definitely true.
Like a Souls game where it's a hallway.
Like a tough boss, you can just be like, I'll just come back and do you later. And then you come back and do him later, and he's very easy because you're now overpowered.
Yeah, like as long as you don't stumble into an area that's like 40 levels above you, you should be fine.
Yeah.
I feel like. Unless they like.
Which is pretty easy to do because, you know how I said I got teleported to like the Rot Land. That was the only teleportation chest I opened up in the other game. I also opened up another one which sent me to a very late game area.
Oh man, speedruns are going to be fun for this, aren't they?
Yeah. I don't even know what it was. It was just like the Sky Zone, I think.
Oh boy, we go to that. It was the last world of Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
Yeah.
What else? What weapon are you using? What build you going?
Well, I'm going a quality build with the idea being that the character's like a weapon master.
Okay.
So the idea is I should be able to wield any weapon provided that it's not magic.
Oh,
as long
so
as it's not a magic weapon, I should be fine.
So you scale in Dex and Strength,
yes.
Or they work differently?
I'm leveling Strength and Dex evenly. I put one point in the Dex, I put the next point in the Strength.
Strength, they said that it determines equip load before. Did they change that?
They changed it. They put it back on Endurance.
Okay. I wasn't sure. So yeah. I thought I heard someone say that.
It was Strength during the network test, and then they changed it for the final release.
Yeah, I feel like that would be a bit overpowered.
Yeah.
Because you don't want your strength players getting free fast rolls. Elden Ring.
I mean, the overall, like, my endurance is still, like, not super high. I haven't been leveling it as much, and they just give you a ton of stamina. But
you get unlimited stamina when you're out running, right?
Yeah, you get unlimited stamina if you're out of combat.
That is so nice sounding.
Yeah. There's a lot of really cool aspects because, like, I really love like just adventuring around in the world and then finding the mini dungeons because the world is so dense that it feels like you're going like every like 5 minutes you're gonna find some cool thing in it.
That is the best part about like any open world game, honestly.
Yeah. And since like a lot of the caves and stuff are like hidden, because there's a lot of stuff that you can like spot on your map as like landmarks because of like fortresses and like ever jails and like important buildings and landmarks. That stuff all appeals on your map, you know, and then you can be like, that looks like something important. Let me put a beacon down and then run towards it, you know?
Oh, yeah.
But then, like, the caves and stuff that are hidden, they're a lot harder to find. But at the same time, there's a lot of cool, like, things just scattered throughout the world to help you find them. Like, there's these, like, big candlestick things that will summon, like, a spirit of, like, a dude who will walk towards, like, a cave. And you gotta, like, follow him to find the cave. And there's, like, these like statues of dudes who will point towards catacombs if you interact with them.
This all sounds so goofy to me. I just want to know all the lore explanations for these.
Yeah,
just
it's
like
really good.
I'm hologram man.
Yeah, but it's so cool to just venture around the world and see a cave entrance and then just be like, yo, new cave.
And it's exciting because there's actually like Souls gameplay in that cave. It's not like, you know, walking around like in Skyrim where it's like, all right, cool, a cave. Probably something interesting in there, but you know, I'm still just like playing Skyrim.
Yeah, exactly. It does feel a lot like Skyrim, but with a much more beautiful world.
Yeah.
And also gameplay that is good.
I'm not even trying to like dig at Skyrim. I'm just saying its gameplay is weak, like combat wise.
It's really bad combat.
It's just you just click.
But yeah, it does honestly feel like there's kind of like a Great Hollow / Ash Lake around every corner.
That's just like weird secrets, and you go on that weird secret, and oh crap, this is actually like something huge you put a ton of detail into.
They
like
also
that kind of stuff.
Brought back like the Pharos Lockstones from 2, more or less.
Interesting. I found those are kind of annoying in 2.
They seem to work a lot better in this one, where it's just like you get them, you know, they're like stone sword keys, and they're, you know, one-time use consumables, and there's these imp statues like over the place that are like blocking the entrance to something, and then you have to use the stone sword keys to break the seal of the imps to get access to it. Yeah,
I remember my big issue in Dark Souls 2 with them was some of them like were like essential, like they would be having like NPCs who would like give you like super good stuff, or be like hiding like a single chest, so you could just like totally waste those stones. In early game, they're really valuable, so it was annoying.
Yeah, I mean they're much easier to get because not only are they scattered throughout the world, you know, you can find them off of like random corpses and stuff, but also most NPC vendors sell them.
Nice.
So it's one of the better things to spend your souls on. You know.
Yeah. What are NPCs? How are the NPCs, by the way? Run into any weird quest lines or anything?
I've run into a couple quest lines.
Right.
Almost all of them have, like, had some random girl die. The dude is, like, looking after or whatever.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
2 of them have happened that way so far.
Yeah, that tracks.
And I've run into like at least 2 different blind girls.
That also tracks. That's
Yeah.
need that in every game. We've had that since Pancake Eye Lady and Demon Souls.
Yeah.
What else?
There's the horse combat.
Oh yeah, horse combat. How's that play?
Really good.
Make your horse jump to dodge attacks. I'm still cracking up over that from like the first time we saw that in the trailer. Just jumping over an attack on a horse.
Yeah. Yeah, I've done that before. I was fighting the dragon and I jumped over his fire. The horse.
Can you jump off your horse like Yoshi and leave him to die?
Your horse is magical, so you can't
Okay.
really die.
Alright.
Like when you jump off him, he like spirits away, and then you can just call him back instantly. He's a magic ghost horse.
Whoa.
Which is really nice to just have a horse that you can just summon instantly under you.
That sounds. I don't know why I keep bringing up Skyrim. I guess it's just like a default open world thing for my brain.
Yeah.
But game, your horse would just either die immediately, or it would beat the shit out of everything.
Yeah.
But Elden Ring, you got a ghost horse, so
Yeah.
you can't fail.
Yeah, the horse combat does feel a lot like, I'd say, probably Twilight Princesses, but a bit more refined. Or at the very least, a bit more like applicable to average situations,
I don't think Twilight Princess even uses it aside from the the Bridge of Elden fight. Like, aside from that, do you ever use horse combat?
I feel like there's at least one other time.
I guess I think in the final boss,
used.
Wait. Do you fight Ganon at one point on horse?
Yeah, there's one of the phases is fought on the horse. Yeah,
because Ganon has like a trillion phases.
Yeah.
Oh man, I can't wait to see what Elden Ring has in store for its final boss. Hope it makes me cry like all the other Dark Souls final bosses.
Yeah. Although it's funny because like my character, I started off as like a vanguard. But like early on, like really early on, I was in one of the caves and one of the enemies dropped like a spiked club. And it was like, it's better than my sword. I'll use this. And then I kind of ended up getting stuck using the club for like 15 hours. Or just
yes, strength weapons are good early game.
It's like, it wasn't even a strength weapon. It's like, it was a quality weapon. It had DD scaling.
Huh.
But the thing nice about it was it was a bashing weapon and it also did bleed buildup. And then early on I upgraded it to +3 because I was like, well, this is my strongest weapon, so I might as well upgrade this. And then I got more weapons and I was like, well, I kind of want to use this, but it's just not as good as my club. So there's no reason to use it over the club. And I couldn't upgrade
becoming a caveman.
Yeah, and I couldn't upgrade any of my other weapons because I didn't have enough upgrade materials to get them to +3 as well. And like a little bit later on, I found like a Morning Star, which effectively had the exact same stats as my club. If I had to guess, it was probably slightly better than it.
But it's not upgraded.
But it wasn't upgraded, so it's not as good as the club. It also had a slightly different moveset.
Oh yeah, that'll screw you up.
Than the club's was. But other than that, they were like the same exact weapon because they were the same weapon type and everything.
Yeah.
But Lucas, I know you've been muted for like the past 15 minutes because of the background noise, but do you have anything to say?
I mean, yeah, I just don't know
Maybe
how bad,
for a minute because
how much the background noise is. I don't know if it's still there, but but yeah, I'm liking everything.
The club was pretty good. I bonked a lot of bosses over the head with it.
Oh, you're back, Lucas. Or did something just walk? I don't know. What do you got to say about Elden Ring without too much spoilers?
Something's going on. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay. I guess we'll just keep going then.
Hurry, fill that air.
This is a nightmare.
The one complaint I've heard some people say some of the bosses are hit or miss. How have you felt? Like, do you feel like all the bosses have been quality, or some are like, eh?
I think most of them have been pretty quality. I think I've had a really easy time with most of them. Because, like, I beat Margaret on my first try, and everyone's saying, like, this is super hard, and I'm just sitting there being like, I creamed his ass. You know?
Oh, don't say that.
I fucking did.
Don't say that.
I did, though. I totally whooped his butt so hard.
Dark Souls bosses are weird like that.
It's like... Because, like, I went in, like, full guns blazing, you know, it's like all, like, maximum power. It's like, no hold bars. And I, like, beat him with, like, half my, like, Estus still. You know? I was like, he didn't even get me, like, low. And I just killed him in, like, 30 seconds.
I still remember beating, like, Maria and Bloodborne of, like, on my first try in, like, 2 minutes. And I was like, was that it? What the heck was that?
Yeah.
Maybe your difficulty wasn't high enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I did fight him at, like, level 30, I think.
Is that a really high level for him?
He's, like, the first boss.
Oh, so yes. Yes.
Fair.
He's the first real boss. All the other ones are bosses of mini dungeons, but I killed all those guys first.
Yeah, you know, just covering your bases.
Yeah. I was like, I didn't feel like doing Stonevale Castle. I wanted to check out the peninsula first.
Ooh, you can go to Florida.
There was like a fort at the bottom of it, and it was cool.
I'm just remembering that awful peninsula in Breath of the Wild with, like, the spiral. Did you have to, like, carry something to the center, and it's, like, hell?
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
I just remember it sucking.
I don't remember carrying anything to the middle of it, but...
I thought you had to bring something to the middle. I just remember that being really annoying. I don't know. I can't
Maybe. I don't know. I literally did everything in Breath of the Wild, and I don't remember it. But you know, Breath of the Wild was like 5 fucking years ago.
Yeah, it's been so long. Now, Elden Ring will be the new game that game journalists constantly compare to every other open world game. Refreshing.
Good.
Yeah, no.
It's so much better than your average open world game. It's insane.
It's not exactly a high bar.
No.
So if you had to put a number to it, how many hours do you have in Elden Ring so far?
23 hours.
23?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I mentioned this earlier. Close to the beginning, but yeah. I can tell because I'm looking at the Steam playtime right now.
Which, how long ago did it come out? No, was it 2 days ago?
It came out Thursday at 6 p.m. And I started playing it at about like 10 o'clock that day because I was working closing that day. So I didn't get to play it till a little bit later, but then I played it, till like 4 a.m.
Elden Ring Marathon.
I mean, if you want to, instead of talking about like gameplay mechanics and stuff, you want to talk about the performance?
Sure, let's actually get into that a little bit.
Yeah. I can't really speak on the console versions, but I hear they're decent. I don't know. I've heard like conflicting.
I've heard some weirdness about the PS5 version. Like, that it's like better to just play the PS4 version than like performance mode or anything, which is odd. I mean, it makes sense, but also odd.
But for me personally, I have experienced like frame rate issues-ish. Not like terrible. Nothing like so bad that it would like completely ruin my experience or anything like that. Although I had the game like overheat my PC one time, and my PC crashed because my CPU was at like 88 degrees. Despite the fact that I had a box fan directly in front of my computer blowing on it.
I haven't done that.
Every time I have to play this game, I have to have a fan sitting next to me blowing on my computer while I'm playing it.
Man, I haven't done that in a while.
Yeah.
I should start doing that with my laptop. This thing gets hot.
You might need to upgrade to water cooling, Black Chestnut.
See, I don't like water cooling because I'm like every time I like think of that, I'm just like that's gonna explode and destroy my computer.
It's the new thing. Fans are gonna slowly be obsolete.
I mean, like
We've had fans since ancient Egypt.
yeah.
They ain't going anywhere. They had the people with the big leaves. They ain't going anywhere.
I've just seen so many horror stories with like water cooling of like leaking and shit. That I'm just like
you should get that PC case that has an aquarium built in. That thing's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, like, granted, after like the day 2 patch and plus I updated my drivers, most of the issues I've had have like ceased. It's not nearly as stuttery. The frame rate is much more consistent. It is still like only getting like 50 to 60 frames in the overworld, usually closer to 50, but it's not really dropping below that.
All right,
And
yeah,
as for
50's
me,
fair.
You know, as someone who has played through Dark Souls 1, you know, with
the original PC port without DS
yeah,
fix.
I played Prepare to Die Edition on an old potato PC. The game ran at like 15 FPS to the point in which I wasn't even allowed to play online.
Yeah, I saw you playing Blighttown once on that. That looked like hell.
Yeah, I'm not joking when I say my first playthrough of Dark Souls 1, I played it with literally like 10 to 15 FPS the whole time.
You were practically playing a Taz.
Yeah.
Why would you sit through that?
Dark Souls 1 is the ultimate game of all time. It's that good that despite the fact that it can only run at like 10 FPS, it's still better than every other game I could have played at the time.
See, Dark Souls is all about trying to like replicate like the classic like hardcore RPG experience. And if like you go back and play like the old Ultimas, those run at like 6 frames per second. See, it's all about the authentic experience. It's Miyazaki's vision.
Yeah, this honestly does kind of feel very Zelda 1-esque in a lot of ways, you know?
Yeah, or you just kind of run around and find stuff.
In the sense that it's like you're exploring the world and then you find a cave entrance and it's a whole ass fucking dungeon.
I forget how obscure the dungeons are in Zelda. I've never played Zelda 1 all the way to the finish. I usually got like halfway through and I was like, I'm not having fun anymore.
I'm a gamer. I've beaten Zelda 1. Yeah. I don't know.
Gamer.
I mean, it's like I was saying earlier, it's just like, oh yeah, I kind of feel like Elden Ring's a little easy. But it's also like I've played so much time into Souls games at this point. It was just like, well, of course I think it's easy. I've mastered the formula by now.
Yeah.
It also, you know, Dark Souls 1 is also just Ocarina of Time, but with more mechanics. So, you know.
It really is. Although also technically less mechanics, because you don't got items.
You got items.
Well, you don't got like puzzle items, like boomerang.
Yeah, but you have different weapons.
True. That's true.
It's like...
They ever have a boomerang in a Souls game? That sounds awesome. I want that.
I mean, there's stuff you can throw.
Okay. Just want to play like an Australian build and invade people. And then hack so my character's upside down while he's invading you. Be great. You played any multiplayer, actually?
I summoned somebody for co-op once.
Okay.
I was in a late game dungeon that I wasn't supposed to be in yet, more or less. What happened was I completed the dungeon, got to the boss, but I was like, okay, I'm poisoned. Like I was hit with the rot, and I didn't have any items to cure rot. And I was like, okay, there's a State America right here, which is like a respawn checkpoint that you can't rest at. So they usually put them next to boss fights so that it's like, hey, if you died on this boss, you can just retry right outside the boss room as opposed to having to go back to wherever you last sat down at the site of grace, you know.
Oh yeah, I heard someone complaining they put one of those in front of an elevator in front of the boss. So it's just mildly annoying.
Yeah. But this specific State of Monica is bugged and doesn't work. When you use it, you respawn at the entrance to the dungeon as opposed to the end of the dungeon next to the boss fight. So what happened was I was like, okay, I'm poisoned. I'm sitting on, like, I say probably like 6,000 souls right now, right?
Yeah, get out of there.
Like, okay, I can't teleport out of the dungeon. There's no way for me to leave because this dungeon's designed weird where it's like you have to jump down an elevator chute. And then once you do, there's no way back up, but you have to jump down there in order to get to the boss.
Okay.
And so I'm like, I'm stuck here. I'm poisoned. Let me run into the boss room. I'll just die on the boss, and then I'll respawn outside of the boss fight, and then I'll just do the boss legit, and I'll be able to leave, right? So I run in there. The boss is like 2 versions of the statue cat guys. One's a magic one, and one's a sword one.
Okay.
So it's like a 2-on-1 fight. Very unfair. I die immediately. I was like, okay, I'll respawn at the State of America, and it's bugged. You know, like I said previously, so I was like, why the fuck am I here? And I was like, my first initial thought wasn't that it was bugged. It was like, oh, I must have clicked on the wrong thing. I wasn't paying attention. I must have clicked on the wrong thing. So I run back to the dungeon, because it's not that long of a run back. It's honestly like only a minute from the beginning to the end.
Most Dark Souls dungeons are, once you know the layout, actually.
Yeah, the runbacks in Dark Souls are not nearly as bad as everyone makes them out to be, except for the late game ones. Those ones are bad. But it's whatever. I don't know. Not talking about Dark Souls. We're talking about Elden Ring.
Same game. But
different. But I was like, okay, let me try again. And then I tried again. I got my souls back, but I died on the boss again. Right? And I was just like, at that point, it was like 4 a.m. or something. So I was like, I give up. I'm just going to go to bed and try again tomorrow. Come back tomorrow, you know, and I'm like, okay, I can't beat this boss. Let me try summoning. I tried summoning, still didn't beat it. What I ended up using was I just used the Ring of Sacrifice equivalent to get my souls back.
All right.
Because by the time I like come up to the conclusion of like trying to summon, I just was like, I'm literally at this point the souls are now like 9,000 because of like every time I got through the dungeon, I gained like 400 more souls from the 2 enemies I had to kill to get there.
Yeah, oof.
So at that point, it was like now it's sitting on like 9,000. Let me just grab it. Let me just use it because then I just bought a new one for like 3,000 souls from a merchant. One of the Rings of Sacrifices, that is.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever used that in 2, actually. I think
it's really good in 2 because instead of breaking permanently, it just breaks and then you can repair it for like 500 souls at the blacksmith.
Oh yeah.
It's super OP in 2.
It's just by the point where like I really care about like my souls that much. I don't know. I guess I just don't play that riskily where I need it.
Yeah. I mean, in 2, it's like as long as you have more than 500 souls, it's like it's always worth it to use it effectively.
I suppose.
But only in a case of where it's like you are currently sitting on a lot.
Yeah.
Although it's also worth noting that in like every Souls game, if you've died and then you have to make the run back, but the run back is risky, you could put that one on, and if you die in the run back, you won't lose that current bloodstain with all your souls in it. It won't make a new one if you die while carrying it, even if you have 0 souls when you breaks. The bloodstain with all your souls will still be over there if you can try again.
Interesting. By the way, what does it say when you die as messages? Just say you died again?
It just says you died, yeah.
Okay, and what does it say when you kill bosses?
It depends on what type of boss it is.
Okay. Just wonder if they had anything goofy. Like with how Bloodborne had prey slaughtered.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's usually some equivalent of like foe vanquished. Although, like, those special bosses have, like, different ones.
Yeah, they'll have the goofy messages. Like, foe obliterated.
Yeah.
Or
it's like shard bearer slain, something like that.
The shard bearer. Haha. Poop pun. But, trying to think of what else to ask about Elden Ring.
It's really good.
Yeah.
I haven't found any twin blades yet, but I have found the flail.
With Twin Blades like a new class of like weapon, or is it just
Twin blades from 2. They brought them back.
okay? I'm trying to remember how they worked in 2.
You know, they're the double bladed, like that one dude from Star Wars.
Oh, the Darth Maul shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know.
There is also like a day-night cycle and a random weather type thing.
Oh yeah, how's that affect stuff?
I don't think the rain does anything except make my frame rate worse. But certain like bosses only come out at nighttime. Like certain field bosses. Yeah. I think I've killed 3 that are only out at nighttime. It can be hard to find them though, because you just kind of have to be adventuring out at night and then stumble upon them. Because if you walk over where they would be during the day, you know, they won't show up. There's no real way of knowing that unless you say...
Do you think they'd have like some clues, like some environmental like cues? Like,
well, the environmental cues is playing online and reading at, say, try at night or strong foe at night, something like that.
Yeah, well, I was thinking there'd be like a nest or something. If you go over
to an area and there's like 2 or 3 messages that say try nighttime, that means you should go back to the closest grace checkpoint, change the time of day to night, and then run back there. There might be a cool boss there.
Oh, you can change the time of day, like smoking weed in MTS5?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
You just have to rest at a great checkpoint, and then one of the options is change time of day, and then you can change it to either like day, evening, or night.
By the way, how many messages have you seen that just say try fort night?
A lot.
Yeah,
I've seen more that are like try butthole. Or
of course.
Butthole.
Try finger butthole. That's a classic.
Yeah.
Or what's the skeleton one? Go for it, skeleton. How's it go again?
Something like that. One of my favorite things that everybody's doing is every time they see a tortoise, they put dog around it.
Oh yeah.
Tortoises are very slow, and they always spawn in the same locations. So
I'd like to see the one that said dog in front of like a donkey. I already saw that image.
Yeah.
Dog.
Oh, speaking of turtles, I've gotten some really good turtle equipment.
Just put up your shield and poke.
No, I mean like literal turtle equipment.
Oh, like in
I
Minecraft.
found a shield that's just a turtle shell.
Okay.
And it's the grass crest shield equivalent of this game.
Good. All right, so
yeah,
that's an essential.
The turtle stuff gives you stamina recovery. You can eat like a pickled turtleneck, and it will give you a stamina regen boost. And the Calamity Ring equivalent in this game is like a turtle charm. I found that as well. It was in a cellar full of turtles.
Stamina lets you like run around a lot. It didn't sound very turtle to me. That's an odd choice.
Yeah. Well, it also helps when you're blocking with your shield because it means that you regen more stamina while blocking.
Nope, that's true. That's turtle thing.
Yeah, the turtle shield's super OP because it's a grass crest shield, but it has 100% physical damage negation.
Oh, that's best shield in the game already.
It's like I've gotten it, and it's like I've never unequipped it. Plus, you can throw it on your back and turn yourself into a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
Oh, that's awesome!
Yeah.
I mean, half the Dark Souls games have just been me with a grass shield on my back, and now I'll be looking like a freaking turtle. Like, oh, this is 10 out of 10. I need to play this game now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make my character look like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, the character creator.
Yeah, you put on like ninja armor, you put the turtle shield on your back, and then you double hand like a flail, and you're Michelangelo.
And in the character creator, make yourself green, and you give yourself a horribly deformed, puffy face.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm excited. Although I gotta keep tradition. My first playthrough is always an old guy named Alfonso. I've done it since Dark Souls 1. I gotta keep tradition. Ooh, Elden Ring. Wow. Lucas, what build you planning to do if you're there?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't hear you.
I see his icon popping up, but I can't hear him at all.
I'm probably going to end up doing something similar to Black Chestnut, just because that's what interests me. But I kind of want to do that, like, Darth Maul weapon as my main.
Yeah, like Twin Blades.
Yeah, just because that looks sick. When I first saw that was going to be in the game, I was like, yep, there it is. There's my weapon.
I don't even remember those in 2. I mean, I know they're in there. I just don't remember, like, where you get them or anything.
Yeah.
I might go just Dex Magic hybrid because I'm basic. How would that work out for me? Because at 3 at launch, Dex Magic, like, splitting that sucked because at launch, int scaling was really bad for some reason.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I know one of the starting classes is effectively just Dex Magic, which is the prisoner starting class.
Is he the one with the goofy mask?
Yeah, he's the one that looks like
Mannequin mask.
His face from Berserk.
Oh, that guy.
You know, the main antagonist.
Griffith?
Yeah, he looks like Griffith from Berserk.
Okay. Yeah, I'm picking him because that's the new mannequin mask. I love that thing. I'm gonna be doing funny poses and goofy spots with that mask on. I'm excited.
Yeah. The enemy variety gets really cool the further you go in the game because it starts off being like it's just dudes with swords and stuff. But then like you get into the lake and you're fighting like frog people and like flame cultists and like I said earlier, what was it called? The flea men.
Flea men. That's new. Like, that's a new one.
I know some of the rot enemies. I fought some like wizards and there was like these multi-arm like automatons.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Interesting. Robots.
Yeah, it was really cool. I've found the entrance to the one underground city area, but I haven't actually ventured into it yet.
Oh, they have a new Lando in this game as well, of course.
Kinda.
Is it flooded?
I don't know. I haven't actually been there yet.
Okay.
I just know that it's underground. It's got its own map that you have to switch to, and that the ceiling of the cave looks like stars.
Oh, that's what sounds really cool. It's like Ash Lake, but cool.
Yes.
Oh man.
I found the entrance to it because I know from like pre-release stuff that it's like, oh yeah, that's the entrance to it. I just haven't bothered to go down there yet.
I'm gonna go explore that right now. I gotta get Elden Ring. I'm afraid to play it on PS4 a bit. I don't know.
I mean, I think the PS4 version runs fine. It just runs at 30 FPS and it kind of looks
I could deal with that. I'm just worried just because like Elden Ring looks such a step above like from like Dark Souls like 3 and like Bloodborne. Just even though graphically they look pretty similar, just scale wise, it's such a bigger thing. I'm just like,
I mean, mechanically, like combat wise, it's pretty much like it's kind of Dark Souls 3, but fixed all of its problems. You know? Because, like, my biggest problems with Dark Souls 3 combat were very simply put, poise doesn't fucking work, shields are underpowered, and rolling is overpowered. And this fixes that. Like, rolling is just as good as it was in 3, but shields are now, you know, back to how good as they were in Dark Souls 1, if not even better. In fact, it's just, a lot of times it's just worth blocking with your shield because of the new shield counter move. Where if you block an enemy attack, if you just press R2 after blocking, you'll immediately counter with like a powerful attack.
Yeah, you can Royal Guard, is what you're saying?
More or less.
Awesome.
Yeah. It's not like a parry, but it does have the potential to like break their posture and then you can riposte them.
Awesome.
Because all the enemies now have invisible posture gauges that you can fill up. And once broken, you can riposte them, and every single enemy has one.
That's better than 3's poise system.
Yeah. And the best way to break their posture is to use charged R2s guard counters, or jump attacks.
Or jump attacks still awkward. You just press forward and R2. Is that how? Oh no, wait! You can jump now. I completely forgot.
You literally jump and
I forgot.
press
There's a jump button now.
R2.
See, it's like my brain can't compute that.
Yeah, jumping is really good for like evading low to the ground attacks as well.
Oh yeah, I wonder if jumping gives you any iframes.
I don't know if it does. I saw like pre-release footage showing off it's like people jumping over PvP attacks. But then I tried jumping over a lot of enemy attacks, and it only works sometimes.
PvP attacks might have.
I don't think it necessarily give you iframes. I think it's just that the hitbox is very accurate. So if you jump, there's no hitbox lag.
Okay.
So it's like if it would have hit your body, then it would have. But if it would have hit your feet only and you jumped over it, you'll be fine.
So I'm excited to see no roll runs where people only jump to dodge. I'm excited for that.
Because there's definitely been boss fights where they've done an attack and I've used a jump to dodge it.
Yeah.
Because it was a low to the ground attack.
Well, I don't know what else to ask about Elden Ring.
There was no news about Elden Ring today.
Which is surprising.
Well, I mean, everyone's too busy playing the game to make news, right?
Yeah.
It's been a day.
I mean, I was just referencing the daily Elden Ring updates.
Oh, yeah.
Like, which are like, 500 of those 620 days waiting for Elden Ring, where he said there is no news about Elden Ring today. That concludes your daily Elden Ring update.
Those like people like get on top of it. Like, what if they like say early in the day there's no news, and then they log off, and then there's news?
They talk about the news next day.
Okay, fair enough.
It's always funny watching those channels start as a meme and then turn into a legitimate news channel once news actually drops.
I know.
It's like, yeah, you subscribed to this channel as a joke, but now you're subscribing it for the actual news.
But want to move on to our other topic then? Or unless you have any more to say about Elden Ring.
I mean, there's other stuff to talk about, but then I don't know necessarily how applicable it is, except for I don't think I touched on the Ashes of War system at all.
I don't think you did actually, so go into that.
So those are really cool because they're the weapon arts system from 3, but now you can acquire them as like items and then apply them to weapons you want.
That's great because there was a lot of really cool ones in 3 that were tied to cool weapons. I mean, tied to crap weapons and vice versa.
Yeah. So if you don't like the weapon art your weapon has, you can swap it out for other ones. And on top of that, weapon arts are just much better than they were in 3 overall. The one I put on my straight sword is like a holy one, which shoots out like a beam, like in Zelda, and then gives my weapon a holy weapon buff.
Oh wow!
For like 25 seconds. It's super good.
That's a lot of that's kind of overloaded.
Yeah,
I thought it'd be like simpler, like closer to like the stuff in Dark Souls 3, where it's like you run forward for a second.
I mean, there's still those ones,
Oh yeah,
way cooler ones where it's just like stab your sword into the ground and make a gravity field that pulls in enemies.
I really hope
there's like magic ones where it's just like cast a magic spell out of your sword, more or less, Where the weapon art is literally just cast a spell without needing to have the spell requirements to use it.
Shooting laser beams out of my sword.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm excited.
Oh, there was this one really cool one I got from the wizard guy who sells wizard weapon arts, where you just put your sword out and then it spins around like you're using like a lightsaber with the force.
It's not like is it like not even in your hand?
It's not in your hand. You throw it out like in front of you, and then it spins around really fast, and you walk forward with it. And then you just walk into enemies as it spins around. It's super cool.
Yeah. I think there's a dedicated button for that in Force Unleashed. So yeah. You're totally right. I'm just excited. I want to get like that knife sidestep from 3 on a great sword, so I can just fling around everywhere with a big weapon.
Yeah. I don't know if you can put quick step on stuff that isn't daggers though, but I know you can get the quick step weapon art. Because not
How
all weapon arts
restrictive
can be
is it?
applied to all weapons, you know? Some
Yeah.
are like, this one can work on everything, but this one works on everything except whips. You know, something like that.
Okay, I get whips because they're weird. They've always been weird. They
Yeah.
can't.
It's just like, this one
Backstab-
works on all straight swords. Oh, but only straight swords, you know? Something
Yeah.
like that.
No scimitars allowed. Those
Yeah.
are curved.
But the most powerful weapon art I've found so far would probably be Barricade Shield, which comes equipped for free from the Turtle Shield, which is another reason why it's super OP. You could put like parry on it if you wanted, but the Barricade Shield is just really overpowered because what it does is it gives a shield buff for like 10 seconds, 10 to 15 seconds, where you just get a massive increase in stability for your shield, which is the stat that determines how much stamina you lose when you get hit by stuff.
So what you're telling me is I can just turtle forever.
Oh yeah, pretty much. Because
Right.
it's like you turn that on, and then it's like now, like weak enemy attacks basically do no stamina when you're blocking.
Let's
And on
talk this
top of
back.
that,
Bring it back.
another thing about it is that the higher stability your shield is, the more likely an enemy's attack will be to like bounce off of it completely and put them in a bad position. And since it raises your stability, it gives you a higher chance of doing that. So like an enemy will like attack you, and then their weapon will just bounce off it, and then they'll follow up into like a guard counter, which will then follow up into like a posture break, which will then follow up into a riposte that will kill them. You know?
The way you're explaining it makes it sound way more complicated than it's probably just bang, 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 dead.
Well, to explain it, basically is you press L2 to activate the barricade shield. You hold L1 to block, and then after the enemy attacks you, you then press R2.
Okay.
And then you press R1 and kill them.
Alright. I've done goofier combos.
Seems easy enough.
Yeah.
Pretty easy.
But, so yeah, we, Ashes, any other loose ends with Elden Ring?
Yeah, do you have anything else to say on Elden Ring, Lucas?
I mean, you're probably the best person to explain stuff, and you pretty much touched on everything I was gonna touch on, from what I've seen. So I mean, I just can't wait to play it at this point.
Yeah. Because I know I mentioned it briefly, but the world density is like so crazy. You literally, it feels like you can't go like 5 minutes without stumbling upon some cool new thing, you know?
That's what I think I'm gonna find I like the most about the game, because that's what I struggle with certain games that I like. I just get bored of them after a while because I see the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like this one, there's gonna be a good amount of time where I don't know where everything's at.
Yeah.
And I'm finding new stuff.
The only like problem with the open world I've really come across to so far personally is I've been feeling a bit of overchoice in some aspects of it's like, okay, I can go to like 15 different places and I'm not sure which one I should go to first, sort of thing, you know?
I get that.
Because you can look on your map and you can see there's a lot of checkpoints and like just land to explore, because you know all that land's going to be full of cool stuff and you want to touch every inch of it because you know like and anywhere you can find something really good.
That sounds like a good problem to have, though.
Yeah. And it really kind of feels like you have to scour the world like very meticulously in order to find all the goodies, because it's like you cannot leave a stone unturned because every stone has something good hidden under it.
Yeah.
You know, like I said about like the nighttime bosses, like a lot of those are really easy to miss. Because I was one of them I stumbled upon when I was doubling back through an area that I had only like kind of half-assed explored. Because I was like, it was an area where by the fort, at the bottom of the peninsula at the south of the map.
Mm.
And I was like, because when you first show there's like a giant protecting the fort shooting arrows at you. And so you want to rush him down really quickly and take him out first before. And then, after doing that, I went to do the fort. So I didn't really bother to explore the perimeter around it. And so I went back and did that. And I happened to be doing it at nighttime. And because I was doing it at nighttime, I stumbled upon a nighttime only boss fight.
Cool.
That was like really cool. It was called like Death Bird.
The Death Bird.
Yeah, it had like a weird baby bird skull head with like
That
a
sounds
long neck.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Sounds freaking scary.
I was attacking it and it wasn't taking like a lot of damage. But then I was like, wait, I've got that holy weapon art. Let me two-hand my sword real quick, shoot him with my laser beam, and then buff my weapon. And I was doing tons more damage to him. I went from doing like 70, like 80 damage per swing to like 200. From just
fun.
the weapon buff alone.
Type advantage, question mark?
Yeah, because he's like Death Bird, so he's weak to holy damage.
Right.
That's a thing. They removed the dark damage type from Dark Souls 3 and replaced it with holy.
The damage types never really made much sense to me. Like, Dark Souls 1, how demons are weak to, like, lightning, but only sometimes.
Yeah, well, the demons just don't make sense. Everything else makes sense.
Yeah.
Anything else we got?
I don't think I got any questions I want to ask at the moment.
It's really fun. I'm really loving it.
I'm excited to eventually get to it. Yeah.
Just exploring the world is just so fun and cool.
That's a nice feeling. Like, I don't get that from a lot of open world games like anymore, so I'm hoping Elden Ring gives me that magic.
Yeah. And like I said about the world being so dense, it's like I felt like I was like, okay, I've explored all of Limgrave. Let me move on to the next area. And then I was exploring a little bit of the next area, found some stuff there. But then I was like, actually, I just realized there's an NPC because that I remembered that was in like the network test that I didn't find. Let me go back to Limgrave to find that NPC because he's like hidden disguised as a bush or something.
Okay.
I didn't find him right away, but I found an NPC invasion
Cool.
which rewarded me with like a weapon that I hadn't found earlier. And then I found another mini dungeon, which I'm not going to spoil it, but it was very cool. The boss of that dungeon.
All right.
Yeah.
Excited to see what it was.
Yeah. And then, after that, I found the NPC disguised as a tree. And then I stopped playing because I had to show up here.
Oh,
to do
that
this
recent.
podcast.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. I had to stop playing Elden Ring to be here. So you better enjoy this.
Oh.
That's how you know it's good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Love that film.
Yeah, I think we can move on to Pokemon now.
Sure.
All right, let's move on to our final topic, which is Gen 9 confirmed.
Out of freaking nowhere. Like, Arceus was like a month ago. Like, not even, right? Like,
Yeah.
What?
I mean, like, Sword and Shield was like, what? 2019, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I don't remember. But yeah, we got
November
Gen 9.
15th, 2019.
Okay.
That's right. Did they say the release date for this or no?
I don't think I saw one. Let me just check the end of the
There was
trailer.
no like release.
Oh, it says late
window.
2022.
Okay, so it is this year.
Yeah. So yeah, what the hell? It just out of nowhere.
It feels soon, but I guess not.
Yeah. Strange.
I mean, the generations have been all messed up since Switch launched, you know?
I suppose.
Where it's like the first game we got on was like Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, you know?
Oh yeah, I forgot those
And
exist.
those are like listed as mainline, but they don't fit into any of the generations properly.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just suck.
They also suck too. That doesn't help either. I honestly don't know if I'm gonna get these, but if I do, I'll get Violet.
Why do I feel like we always go for the opposite one, just subconsciously? Because I was thinking of Scarlet.
I don't know. I like purple.
I don't know who
I
the
mean, that's
legendaries
fair.
are yet.
That's fair. You do like purple.
Yeah.
I gotta see what stupid legendary theme they come up with this time.
Yeah. We know that the region is based off of Spain,
Yeah. So,
which means we're either gonna get a new bull Pokemon or Tauros is gonna show up a lot.
yeah.
Depends on how lazy they feel. How many new Pokemon get added.
We'll probably get a new bull Pokemon. That sounds like one you can just like design in like an afternoon.
Yeah. Although, will they even bother? Because it's just, we already got a bull Pokemon.
I'd appreciate that, you know? Don't make duplicates. That's how you end up with Pokemon like Seal. Who's a seal?
Yeah.
But what are your thoughts on the starters? You know, I guess I said to get into the trailer, but let's start
I
at
like
the end.
Donald Duck. He looks pretty cool. I'm definitely gonna go for the duck. Even though he just kind of feels like lame Ducklet.
Ducklet? I'm not a huge Ducklet fan, to be honest.
I'm a pretty big Ducklet fan.
What does Ducklet evolve into? I like Ducklet's evolution.
Swanna.
Swanna. I like Swanna.
I also like Swanna as well.
I'm gonna go for Sprigatito.
Which one is that?
That's the cat, the grass cat.
He just looks like a grass version of Litten.
So I like cats.
Yeah, but is this one gonna turn into like a grass Bara as well? As opposed to a fire Bara?
No, that...
What if he turns into a grass Arcanine?
I guess that'd be better. No, but we all know that all of the starters are gonna evolve into some weird humanoid shit. That's gonna be like furry bait. Because like the last 3 generations has that.
Last 3. I think haven't been doing that since like... We've had humanoid starters since Gen 3, right?
Arguably, yeah, I guess.
Blaziken is pretty humanoid.
Yeah, Blaziken's pretty humanoid, but like Swampert and Sceptile isn't really.
I always forget Sceptile. I remember Trico and Grovyle, but I never remember Sceptile exists.
Those are not furry traps, though. I would never.
Yeah, but somebody would.
Snivy, though.
Hey, like every Pokemon's fucking furry bait.
It's true.
This is a stupid conversation.
let's go back on track.
You know, honestly, I think I thought he was stupid at first, but the stupid fire thing has grown on me.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Let's stop. Let's stop.
Like first impressions, I do like these starters more than Sword and Shield starters. I honestly hate Sword and Shield starters. I think they're
really.
Yeah, I boxed my starter in Sword and Shield.
Wow.
I forgot all
My
their
starter in
names.
Sword and Shield was that squirrel Pokemon I caught initially.
I forgot all their names. Grookey's cool. Come on, he has a stick.
Scorbunny's
I didn't
cool.
have room for those lame guys. I had to have the squirrel, the crow, and then the other Pokemon that were on my team. I don't remember.
Pokemon.
Yeah.
What else do we see in this trailer?
Oh no,
the main character designs. You want to talk about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the hell?
They're a little boring.
They're like really like impressively boring. Like, I don't know, Pokemon protagonist designs are usually pretty solid, even the more generic ones. Like,
I feel like a lot can be blamed on the outfits. The fact that they just put them in boring school uniforms doesn't help.
Well, I mean, yeah. Although even if you change their outfits, they still look very generic. Like, it's just guy with hair.
I I mean, we've had like customizable protagonists for the last couple gens at this point.
That's true, but I feel like all the default designs have always.
But yeah, but the default designs are still really nice.
I feel like Pokemon's trying to get too realistic.
Because it just looks that at all.
No, it seems like generic anime characters.
To be fair,
I kind of get what you're saying, but
I'll be honest. I don't think they don't look like the standard art style. The lead artist,
no, they look fine to me. The thing is, they just look like NPC characters. You know, they look like
that's what I'm trying to say.
Characters in an anime, as opposed to the main characters. You know, they look like the guy standing next to Yugi and not Yugi. You know.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Don't look at some of our previous trainers, like Rosa in Black and White 2, who was like freaking like giant hair buns for some reason.
Yeah.
Like previous trainers were goofy. These ones are just.
Although this is like the first time in like literally forever that the main characters actually look 10 years old.
Yes.
Yeah, they do look super young.
The
height doesn't help either.
Yeah, they actually do look like children. To be fair, a lot of the previous ones just straight up weren't. Like X and Y protagonists were like at least 17 to 18.
Were they? I feel like they said like out loud like 12 or something.
No, that's not true. There's like specifically a point in like X and Y where it's just like you have to be 16 years or older in order to enter this facility or whatever the fuck. So like explicitly like Serena and Callum, they're like at least 16 to like 18. I'm pretty sure they're like at least 17.
Huh.
Yeah. Which I'm pretty sure that's the oldest Pokemon protagonist I've ever gotten. But most of them are older than 10. Most of them are at least 13 plus.
I think they once said in a thing that Rosa and Nate are like were the oldest, but they never gave official ages at the time, so we have no clue.
Yeah. Well, that might have been said before.
Exactly. Yeah, I think it was said before X and Y. So, yeah. But
I wouldn't be too surprised if those were like 15 or 16, though.
Yeah. You know, I'll be honest. Graphics for a teaser trailer, these graphics look nicer than at least like early Sword and Shield and stuff. Like, hey, there's some volumetric lighting and stuff there.
Yeah. They look okay.
Yeah. Fine.
Considering that, you know, they're gonna be touched up a little before release, and they're gonna look better by the game comes out, I guess they look fine. At the same time, I still think overall it could look a lot better. Because, like, I'm watching this trailer and I think this would look pretty decent for a PS2 game. You know? And it's like, I say that.
Nah, there's some real-time shadows there. PS2 can't handle that.
Yes, they can. I've played PS2 games with good lighting. No, I'm just saying, it's just like, do PS2 games look good? Yes, they looked amazing 20 years ago. You know.
See, I'm fine with my games looking like PS2 games most of the time, to be honest.
Yeah. Like, honestly, but that's another thing. It's just like, if Pokemon wasn't like $60 nowadays and wasn't cutting tons of features each game, then I wouldn't really have a problem with them looking the way they do. You know?
Yeah.
It's why nobody gave a shit about the graphics in Pokemon Legends Arceus looking like fucking ultra dog shit. It's because it gave what a lot of people wanted, which was massive swap up in like the gameplay mechanics. For me, that's not really what I was looking for, which is why I didn't bother to get Pokemon Legends Arceus. Because I don't want them to change the gameplay. I want them to stop cutting fucking features and content.
Yeah.
I want them to put more content in the game, not fucking less. You know, I don't care if you change the mechanics. That's not what I want. I don't want, you know, to be able to crouch and tall grass. I just want you to add a hard mode.
Yeah, make it hard after my Pokemon reach level 40 and I'm just one-shotting everybody I see besides a gym member.
Like, you don't have to make the game hard. Just add, like, a hard difficulty or something, you know? Like, add a veteran mode.
Yeah, make the cap of the standard encounters not even like a gym. Like, just higher base level to their Pokemon, and maybe change slightly their party
I mean, that's not even necessarily what I would want out of a harder difficulty. I would like better enemy AI, to be honest. I would want.
Well, like them actually utilizing their team.
Yeah, like
That's fair.
Yeah, be like have trainers that would be like they will switch Pokemon if they're in a bad position or something.
The thing is, I don't think
I would want the game to literally cheat. Like I'd be like, I would want the game to read what move I'm doing and then to perform the correct move to counter it. I would want the game to literally cheat against me in order to make the game more difficult.
To be honest, I don't think that would have really changed my strategy. You kind of just brute force half the time anyway. Like even
because the game's not well designed. The battle system in Pokemon is really well designed. They just don't utilize it at all. And you realize this the millisecond you start playing competitive battles online against real fucking people. Because then you'd realize this combat system is actually amazing.
Yeah,
the
it's
games
good.
just don't actually do anything with it. Which is like the annoying thing about me with like the modern Pokemon games. And to be honest, I can live with the campaign being kind of bad. Because I'm not really playing these games for the campaign. I'm playing them to get to the PvP at the end. If your online systems are dog shit, then I'm not going to be happy. Because like X and Y had an amazing online system. But then Sun and Moon had like the worst online for any video game I've ever played. It was literally unusable.
Honestly, I feel like I'm the other way around. Like once I'm done with like a Pokemon game's like campaign, I'm just like wash my hands with the game.
No, no. You gotta at least have an end goal for it.
Not me.
Like, I don't know. I feel like Pokemon is just like cozy RPG. You just play.
I mean, I totally get that because
it's like Kirby. It's a baby game.
I totally get that because that's how most people play through the games. But for me personally, that's not it.
That and the competitive is like a nightmare because of IVs and EVs just and breeding.
They've been making it better.
They've been making it better throughout the games, but at the same time, it's such just like annoying hurdle that just makes it more grindy. I feel like than actually adding like depth. Honestly,
like that was literally the best thing they did in like Sword and Shield was all the competitive improvements. How they added new items. How they added like the mints that you could change your Pokemon's nature.
Ooh, that's
super awesome.
That sounds nice.
You effectively in Sun and Moon, not Sun and Moon, Sword and Shield. If you say caught a random shiny Pokemon like in the wild, and you decided that you wanted to use that Pokemon in like say competitive battling, it was 100% possible to turn that Pokemon, which has random ass stats, into a fully fledged viable competitive Pokemon. The only factor you would have to worry about would be like if you wanted to use them with like their hidden ability and you didn't have them on with the hidden ability yet already.
Oh yeah. Although that's like
that's
a 50-50 thing anyway.
That you couldn't change. Yeah. Although you would have to level them up to level 100 to use the super training in order to fix their EVs.
Yeah, whatever.
Or IVs. It's one or the other. And then but you could just EV train them. Yeah, their IVs are inherent.
Yeah, but that's what I feel adds the element that all games should have, whatever way they do it. Just add that after the game's beat, there's still more to do.
Oh, well, of course. Replay value is great. I'm just saying, like, most Pokemon games, it's like...
Well, Pokemon games don't really have a lot of replay value inherently designed into it because they lock you to one save slot. So if you want to replay the game, you have to either buy a whole extra copy of the game, or delete your save, and no one's going to delete their save.
On Switch, you could probably also just make another profile now.
Yeah, I guess.
True. I didn't even think about that.
But in older games, you couldn't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because of weirdness. Pokemons. Looks like they are going more open world for this one too, apparently.
Yeah.
What I've read as well.
I don't know if it's going to be 100% open world like Legends Arceus was, or if it's just going to have more open world areas. But we'll still utilize routes and stuff. Time will tell, I guess.
Yeah, I can see them like just have an Arceus be just the prototype, and then it's just a main series game with that formula. Like I don't know, I can see it happening.
I don't think it's going to utilize the whole formula. Like, it's not going to have all the same elements that.
Yeah, probably will have traditional combat.
Yeah. Like, it literally, like, they wouldn't have had enough development time to incorporate all those things, you know? Because they were using Legends Arceus as, like, a big experimental thing.
Yeah.
So they're not going to incorporate all those experimental elements into Gen 9 because they don't know how well received those experiment elements be when they were developing this, you know?
Suppose. Although they probably were being developed currently.
They were definitely being developed concurrently, but they wouldn't have incorporated all those new mechanics they were putting into Legends Arceus as an experiment, you know?
Yeah.
In this, because they don't know if people would like them yet or not.
Yeah, that's true. By the way, what's up with this trailer? It's like a night guard going into Game Freak and he just finds a room with a Switch. Like, what is the story?
Yeah, what's the point of that?
I don't know the story behind this.
Maybe they're showing the Switch looks like a Switch now.
Wow.
And not a random piece of like junk on the shelf.
Hey, Pokemon games have always been great at chilling Nintendo consoles in your room. Since the beginning.
It's just kind of annoying knowing that it's still gonna have all the same problems that Sword and Shield has, you know? So
yeah.
They're not gonna fix like the no national decks, you know?
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And they're probably not going to bother to balance it properly. It's going to be stupid baby mode easy. Like, I totally get why everybody hates Gen 6. Because it's so easy to, like, just look at that game, which is ultra baby mode the entire time, and be like, it's just not fun. Well, yeah, it's not fun. It's, like, ultra baby mode. It's like, you don't even have to think when playing it. Of course it's not fun.
To be fair, even the older ones are too. It's just that they kind of require some grinding.
Absolutely not.
Really?
There is a drastic change in terms of difficulty from Gen 5 to Gen 6. Play Gen 6 and then go back and play Gen 5. It's insane the level of difference there is.
That's fair. I can see that.
Because, I mean, like, I still beat Gen 5 as a stupid Kittywink with, like, using only, like, one Pokemon.
Yeah, Gen 5 is not hard.
Yeah.
But it's not insanely easy as Gen 6 is.
Yeah. See, like, Pokemon like I said earlier, Pokemon occupies the same space as, like, Kirby as, like, Baby Game. Or, like, I don't really mind if it's really easy. It's just kind of...
If it's easy, I just would like it to be not mindless.
Suppose, yeah.
There is such a thing as too fucking easy.
Yeah.
Star Allies proved that.
I still haven't played Star Allies. I brought that up before, but I gotta. Then again, Epic Yard is awesome, and that game is way too easy.
Game is fine. It's literally designed around not being able to die. But you drop your money, and so the goal is to just make it through without losing your
beads. Money. I need my colorful bedazzles.
Yeah.
But yeah, excited to explore Spain.
España.
Yes. Pokemon España.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm gonna get it, to be honest.
Yeah, fair.
It's just one of those things where it's just like, I've been really annoyed with Pokemon since they came to the Switch, mostly because the games still feel like $40 experiences, but they're selling them for $60 now.
Yeah.
On top of that, they're also now cutting tons of content that would have been in the previous games that were also sold for $40 that are now being sold for $60 plus DLC, plus you have to pay for online. Plus, you have to
DLC
pay
is
for
honestly
Pokemon,
way better than third
like,
edition.
storage
So I'm
service.
going to be honest.
I mean, yes, it is. But you're still paying more net total,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can
that's
agree with that. I definitely every time a new Pokemon comes out, I'm just like, do I want to spend the $60? I feel like I wouldn't have that thought if it was 40.
Yeah, exactly. Because, like, Sword and Shield plus the like, what is it, $25 DLC, or was it $30?
It was 30, I think.
Yeah, it was 30. Like, that's $90. Like, buying both copies of, like, a gen from, like, Gen 4, buying both, like, Pearl and plus Platinum, that's only 80,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's like, it's still worse, especially when you factor in that you have to pay for their Pokemon bank service, whatever it's called, Pokemon Home. Like, that's what, $15-$20 a year, I think. Insane how expensive it is.
See, I Pokemon Home, I was just like, I ain't dealing with that. I made my peace with that like a decade ago.
Yeah.
Pokemon Bank or whatever.
Well, the thing is, it's really scummy because they're just objectively fucking over their hardest core fans, because the people who want to utilize that, you know, are people who have like living dexes, you know, who have a completed Pokedex that they carry over from game to game, so they don't have to recomplete the fucking Pokedex
And
every time.
get excited for when Nintendo shuts down the eShop for 3DS soon, so it'll be impossible.
Yeah. They said that the Pokemon Home, the Pokemon Bank was going to stay up, but
I think they said it was actually going to be free for a bit, actually, towards the end, if I remember right. Yeah.
But you have to download it now.
Okay.
Otherwise, you won't be able to download it once the eShop goes away.
I got it on a 3DS somewhere.
But like, that's the annoying part about Pokemon Home, because it's like, and you have to pay for that subscription because the games don't have a national dex and something. You can't just you can't just quickly port them over into your game. You have to keep them stored there in the home, which they then charge you money for. So they cheap out on the game, cut content, and then they charge you to not lose said content for future releases.
Yeah, that it's a bit.
That's why I'm so fucking pissed off about this shit. It's because it's so fucking scummy. You know?
See,
like,
I've just left my Pokemon my 3DS. I can chill there.
It's annoying. It's like, like, imagine if they made a new Team Fortress 2 every year, but they kept all the hats. But then they didn't bring back all the hats for each new game. You know? And
right.
In order to store your hats, you had to pay a subscription service on a different fucking app on your computer to store all your excess hats that aren't in the new release, that you have to hope is in next year's release.
It's kind of like Street Fighter V season passes.
Yeah, and that's scummy too.
I know. I just trying to think of the dumbest comparison I could make.
You know? It's like your skins don't fucking expire in League of Legends, you know?
Exactly. I was gonna make the reference, but I didn't know if it was a good reference to make.
Until the servers go down.
Well, then the games go down.
Yeah, and they cannot afford for that to happen.
To be fair, TF2 will still be around after the active servers go down. You'll still play private servers. League, though, nah, you ain't playing that again.
Yeah. Well, it will never fucking die. But yeah, it doesn't matter. It's just really annoying. You know?
Yeah.
Like, it's not as, like, scummy as, like, loot boxes, but it's still really shitty. In, like, its own special, unique way.
It's a weird way, because Pokemon's the only game that has that element of, like, transferring the stuff between games.
But then it just doesn't. Unless they make you pay for it.
How long until Game Freak decides to start selling Pokemon NFTs?
Give it half a year. Maybe sooner. NFTs are really big right now. I guarantee you there's going to be at least one. You know how much money Pokemon NFT, just on a little side note, you know how much money that would make?
Yeah.
To be fair, there was those bootleg Pokemon NFTs that just happened, and I won't say the name of because they'll probably sue us, but that just backfired horribly. Did you hear about those ones?
Well I mean, that's because they're not legitimate Pokemon NFTs.
Yeah. But, like, okay, yeah, imagine. It's like, it doesn't even have to be tied to a game. It literally could just be a JPEG of fucking Bulbasaur. And that would literally sell for, like, $1 billion.
Yeah, easily.
You know,
See, I think Nintendo, Game Freak, and a Pokemon Company aren't savvy enough to know those exist yet. And by the time they realize they exist, it will completely have crashed.
How do you figure? If the word hasn't gotten to them, it's gonna get to them, like, mad soon.
Like, here's the thing. The only reason why they haven't done this shit already is because Nintendo is very behind the times on everything, and they also play everything very safe. So, because I know they've mentioned it to, like, shareholders, and it's just like, we're looking at them, but we're not currently going to do them.
Which Japanese company just said it was stupid? I'm trying to remember which one it was. I think
Valve. I know Gabe Newell.
Gabe just today he just said that they're stupid. Yeah. Speaking of Gabe, I have some other Gabe Newell news that we should have included in our topics. Steam Deck came out, and Gabe Newell personally delivered Steam Decks to people's doorsteps.
I heard about that.
I heard about that. I thought he signed the guy who happened to look like Gabe Newell.
No, he signed some of them. Yeah, he was real. He signed some. It was legit. So, amazing. I mean, what else is he doing?
Everything. Just when he thought he was done, he's back. Signing Steam Decks.
Man, I need a Steam Deck. I want to go play.
I actually have a coworker that he gets pretty much all the handhelds from like every company, that even the ones that people don't really hear about. And he got the Steam Deck, and he said it's like uncomfortably big. Which it's
around the same size as the Switch, right?
No, it's actually like if you were to put 2 Joy-Cons worth extra on the sides, as far as length, left to right, up and down, it's probably like another half length. It's like the screen itself is bigger than the Switch connected with Joy-Cons, and the screen is slightly bigger than the Switch.
If I'm going to be honest, I think the Switch's controllers are already a bit too small, like the Joy-Cons. And Switch is already past the point of, I can't put it in my pocket anyway. So, like, even if you add, like, another couple inches to it, I don't think it bothers me. That, and I can play TF2 on the toilet. That experience unlike anything else.
Yeah, but you're going to be playing it on a handheld system. I can't imagine that would be good. Like, have you ever played Team Fortress 2 on Xbox?
No.
True. I have not. I've tried playing TF2 with a controller as a goof. It's not very comfortable.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems really big. Like, he showed a comparison photo because I was just like, can't be that big. And they literally had like the new OLED compared to it, and it just looked dwarfed. Like,
it is like a full-on like PC.
Which is expected. I just didn't realize like how big a handheld would be. Like, it almost makes the Wii U tablet look small. Which the Wii U tablet is pretty decent size.
Yeah.
As far as chunkiness, like just from like the shoulder buttons, but I don't know. It seems pretty powerful as it was advertised, because he said he plays everything at 60 frames, comfortably. Yeah. It's just really loud, gets really hot, but that's also expected.
Oh yeah, even my Switch gets hot and loud. So.
Exactly, so it's like can't really prevent that. The only thing that doesn't overheat is a fully built desktop. That's because there's actually airflow and stuff. Everything's compact in the Switch, laptop, the Steam Deck.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's all expected stuff, but I just didn't realize how big it was.
Yeah, fair enough, though.
Which could be nice, though. If it actually uses like almost an entertainment system.
Instead of, you can get a Steam Deck and go play that game where you force Pokemon to make guns or whatever and shoot them. What's that game called again?
Oh, wait.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, same.
One. Huh?
Pal World, is it?
I think it's Pale World. Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can go play that on your Steam Deck. Take that, Nintendo.
Oh my god. I was watching the stream when Joel was reacting to that. It was the funniest fucking shit ever.
It's a genuinely shocking moment when that happens.
You know, if the Steam Deck wasn't labeled as a handheld, it could be in the category of like Xbox and PS5, which if it was, I feel like it'd have a slight advantage over them.
They tried that a few years ago with the Steam Box. It failed horribly.
No, I mean, well, yeah, that's fair. But I'm just saying, if they just went with the same Steam Deck that they're releasing now, and they had it not labeled as a handheld, I feel like it would.
I think it being a handheld is what's cool, though. That's its plus part.
Don't get me wrong. You're right. I definitely agree. I'm just saying, in a hypothetical reality, it could, like, not necessarily trump the Xbox and PS5, but I definitely think it'd be a comparable, like, contender.
I think it's dumb to try and enter, like, the main console, like, between those two consoles. Like, there's just no market share there.
It is and it isn't. If you genuinely have good products, I feel like you can, like, there's always room to change stuff. Like, if there's a company that comes out with a device that's actually functionally better on paper and, like, in the real world, I don't see why anybody would not be able to compete with Xbox.
Look what happened to the Dreamcast back in the day. That was functionally better than everything else, and it was the Dreamcast.
I mean, well, yeah, but this is current times.
Yeah, no, nothing's changed.
Technology has advanced significantly since then. Yeah, no, not yes. Video games have come a long way since then, too. Come on, Black Chestnut. You gotta agree with me on that statement.
I guess.
No,
generally speaking, games have come a long way. Period.
I guess. I mean, like, if you're comparing it to, like, the 80s, yes.
Well, we're comparing it to the Dreambox in this sense.
Dreamcast.
Whatever.
Bastard.
If you're comparing it from only 20 years ago, and if anything, games have gone downhill.
Just never mind.
Yeah, games that came 20 years ago were drastically over.
Yeah, you know, I could
quality than
get out my Dreamcast, play some Shenmue, some Jet Set Radio.
Like the new Naughty Dog games, so the Naughty Dog games that came out in the early 2000s, and it's like those ones were way better.
Epic.
You compare the old Ratchet and Clank to newer Ratchet and Clank, the old ones are way better. You compare Ghost of Tsushima to Sly Cooper's way better. You know.
Epic.
I'm pretty sure Killzone was better than like this new Horizon shit.
That one's arguable.
I mean, Killzone 2 was pretty good.
I consider the PS3 era the Dark Ages.
I
like most PS3 games, but also
PS3 was like both the last glimpse of hope and also the beginning of the end. You know?
Yeah.
Which is hard to do, but it was definitely, that was the PS3 if we're describing
Every PS3 game falls into two categories of like the last bastion of good shit versus the beginning of the bad shit, you know?
I feel like there's also plenty of weirdly, horribly dated, like they feel more dated than PS2 games. Like PS3 games were weird, man.
Like Resistance?
Yeah, like, what was going on?
I don't know. It was the Cell core processor or whatever the fuck it was.
Ridge
Game devs were just confused at the time, guys. Cut them some slack. They didn't know what they wanted to be.
Well, it's weird because like every PS3 game was like a cover-based third-person shooter, and now every game nowadays is a Jiminy Cockthroat.
It's a what?
A Jiminy Cockthroat, which if you don't watch Zero Punctuation, a Jiminy Cockthroat is an open-world survival crafting game. You know, it's an Ubisoft game. You know, it's like Horizon, Days Gone. Is that the?
That was the game with the Freakers. No, it had the Freakers. You play as a biker.
And like all the new Assassin's Creed games.
Well, the old ones were too.
Yeah,
they started the formula.
Yes.
Far Cry and Assassin's Creed were actually pretty innovative back in the day.
Yeah. And that's not to say that every open world game is bad.
Like
There's
Elden
a lot
Ring.
that break the mold and are really good, like, you know, Elden Ring and Breath
See,
of the Wild.
Technically, I think
Even
we're in the
Ghost
best
of
point in
Tsushima
history in games,
You know, similar but better than average.
to be honest. Because I mean, what, like 5 trillion games come out every day on Steam. Like, there's some good shit every day.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I kind of agree in the same sense that you could say that like anime has been better than ever. You know, in the sense that there's just so much shit coming out that despite the fact that a lot of it is garbage, there's still more good stuff than garbage compared to back in the day. Which
see, it's
most of it was good stuff because you didn't ever see the garbage.
exactly. But in Roasted Glasses, we don't talk about garbage. Like the PS2 is like at the time was like infamous for how much like shovelware and crap was on it.
Yeah,
But
but I
yeah, no
feel
one
like
talks about
the
it now.
reason for that is because the stuff that actually rose to the top was only the good stuff.
Oh yeah.
While as nowadays, a lot of the stuff that's rising to the top is not the good stuff. You know? And I also kind of feel like the only reason why we're better off now is only because the indie game scene is so strong.
Yeah.
You know? Like, if we didn't have indies doing all of the heavy fucking lifting, video games would be in a very sad state right now. Where if it wasn't a Japanese game, it would be complete garbage, more or less.
You know, I definitely had that thought the other day when I was just scrolling through YouTube, just randomly. There isn't a game that I have right now that I used to like when I would get home from school when I was younger. There's no game that I get home like, oh my god, I cannot wait to get this game, or I cannot wait to get home just to play this game. Like, you know, the type of game where you literally like don't eat and like you know, like you want to grind the shit out of it. Like not eating is
Elden Ring.
yeah.
Yeah, literally, like for me personally, Elden Ring has been giving me that exact feeling.
So you know what I mean, but like
I haven't had that feeling since I was young.
exactly,
You know? Like,
exactly.
Elden Ring's giving me that childlike feeling because I haven't felt that since I was a kid. And
Exactly.
I totally get what you're saying. Yeah.
So like it's definitely when I get to Elden Ring, I feel like I hope it gives me that feeling back. But there's really been no game since I think it was maybe Black Ops 2 when I was like 12 or 13 when I thought that was the coolest thing. There's no game since then that's given me that feeling of what's the word I'm looking for? Deja vu, almost.
That's not the right word, but
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, my gaming habits, a lot of times, have been a lot different usually. Because a lot of times I'll just like ADHD, like hyper fixate on like a single thing. And if there isn't something to specifically hyperfixate on, then I will simply like default to whatever I've been playing. And when I was a kid, the thing I would default to more or less was like, you know, when the PS3 era and stuff was around that time specifically, was like Little Big Planet 2. That was the game I would default to if I didn't have anything more interesting to play. Nowadays, that default is like Team Fortress 2. Or maybe League if I'm not in the mood to play Team Fortress 2 effectively, and I don't feel like playing like a new game. You know?
I try to force myself to default into like weirder stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
and I've been trying to like break out of that and try more different things, you know?
yeah.
Because it's not like that's the only games I play. It's just the ones that I default to a lot of the times, where it's just like I don't feel like starting a new game, you know. Despite the fact that I have dozens of games that I've bought and then haven't even have downloaded on Steam, you know.
Same. I have probably
an hour of, you know. Like I started Eastward when that came out, and I put like an hour into it, and then I haven't touched it since, you know.
Yeah, I feel ya.
But yeah, this is not Pokemon.
You know, that we just had a more interesting conversation. That means
Yeah.
we're done with Pokemon.
Yeah, we're done with Pokemon, and I think we're all set with this combo too.
I think we are.
Yeah.
So
do you have anything else to say about it to finish it off, or
Pokemon.
no, I'm sure if people are listening back, they understand what we're trying to get at. So I mean, it's just this. It's just the state we're at in the current time period. And
Yeah. I mean, to finish my thoughts off on Pokemon in a more roundabout way, I'm just kind of very annoyed by the current state of Pokemon because it feels like they're trying to sell me a $40 experience for what is effectively like at least $90.
Yeah.
When you factor in all the additional expenses, when, you know, because it's like, okay, you have $60 for the base game, then you have to pay like, you know, 20 bucks for Nintendo Switch Online, which granted, you'd have to do that for all the online Switch games, but still, that's another expense. Then you have to spend like another 15 bucks for Pokemon Home just to store your Pokemon.
I think Home's kind of a niche audience, though, to be honest.
Yeah, but that niche audience is hardcore Pokemon.
Exactly. They're milking them.
Exactly, which is why it's obnoxious.
That's how niche audiences work.
Yeah. And then plus whatever DLC they release for it. So it's like all that combined is like at least 90 to 120 bucks.
Yeah.
And you know, and I'm still feeling like this is like a $40 experience, you know? Like,
yeah.
They need to add some spice to it.
$60, you know, the game still looks like ass. It has tons of cut content that were in the original games, you know. Like in Sword and Shield, they cut out the global trade service and then they sold it back to you as a price with Pokemon Home.
Huh.
Like, I'm not joking when I'm literally say that they're cutting out content to sell it back to you later at an additional fee on top of charging more than they used to as a base, like, you know, entry.
Bizarre.
Which that's not right, period.
Yeah. It's especially annoying because it's like, it's the Pokemon company. They are most profitable multimedia franchise of all time. They have billions of dollars. They can afford to not cheap out on their games. They can afford to have a good mainline entry. You know.
Are they the most profitable, or was it Hello Kitty? That's gonna bother me right now.
No, Pokemon's more.
Okay, it's one of those two.
Hello Kitty's like second place, but like
yeah.
Pokemon way more.
I'm generally just
because it's like
it is Pokemon.
They can stand to, like, you know, maybe not make all of the money in the world with their mainline games because they're going to be making all that extra money with their gacha bullshit and Pokemon Go and the trading cards and the plushies that they sell, you know.
Yeah.
Because having good mainline games and also the anime as well is what makes people want to buy and spend all the money on the extra bullshit, which is where all their big money comes from. And they still make tons of profits off the main games. So
yeah.
Money talks though, and people and companies are money hungry.
Me over this hard, man. It's like I just want to buy the new Pokemon games and like a few plushies. Like, we didn't even talk about the other stuff in the Pokemon Presents, which was all more disgusting than this is. You know, when
what was there?
Literally, it was just all their mobile games. So they were like, here's some new shit happening in Unite. Make sure to spend all your money on that. It's like, here's a new expansion for like the Pokemon Cafe Remix, which is, you know, their like bejeweled like mobile puzzle game.
Oh, I played that back in the day.
Yeah.
I remember that.
And it's like, don't forget to buy the, you know, go for the loot boxes in Pokemon Masters EX, which is their gacha game where instead of going for the Pokemon, you go for the girls.
You know, are gacha games scummier than like the Clash of Clans like structure?
Honestly, yeah. It's Team Fortress 2, but without the actual gambling elements. You're gambling, but you can't actually gamble. Because like when you open loot boxes in TF2, if you actually hit it big, you actually do win real money. You know?
I suppose.
It's like, you know this better than anyone because you actually have, you know, a net gain in terms of TF2 unboxing.
Yeah, I don't know how, but I do.
It's like you got a fucking unusual, like an Australium on like what, your first tour?
It might have been my first or second Finnish tour.
Yeah.
Which is like,
We've
what,
gotten,
$4?
like 5 at least unusual unboxes.
Yeah.
Like I've never gotten anything.
Yeah, and then I got lucky on I think I opened my first set of boxes, and Black Chestnut was there, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go eat dinner and then open these boxes, and you're gonna be like, you said, I remember this very distinctly. You were like, watch, you're gonna get an unusual, and like 40 minutes later, I called you back on Discord, and I just shared my screen, and you were like, I called it. But yeah. I think we're gonna end it off here, guys. Thank you for anybody who was watching and listening. Make sure to go check out our YouTube. We post all of our previous streams on there. And if you're listening to this back on YouTube, make sure to go check out our Twitch. Drop a follow. It means a lot to us. Also, go check out our social media, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok. We post highlights on there. And, you know, everybody's on TikTok nowadays.
To check out all of our extra shit. But you haven't even told them to like and subscribe to the video yet.
Oh my gosh.
And don't forget to leave a comment down below.
Yeah.
For real though, please leave a comment because I actually do want to know what your thoughts on all this stuff is. On Elden Ring, on the new Pokemon games.
And even our little side talk at the end. If you have any input, we're all ears.
Yeah. Because I know I'm like somewhat negative with the Pokemon stuff, but I'm hoping it's better.
Yeah, it's not like we're sitting here wanting to be negative about the game. We just wish it was better.
Yeah.
In general, but nonetheless,
I don't think like Legends Arceus is that bad. It wasn't what I wanted. Is the thing. You know?
Right. But nonetheless, thank you again, and everyone have a great night.
Adios.